Okay, I'm back fully this time. I'm so sorry. I've been up and down, but hopefully I'm now fully back. But anyway, here's chapter 6 of Bakugou X Pregnant Listener. I was getting out of the car. I looked at the hospital. Mom and Katsuki got out of the car and walked to me. Then walked to the hospital entrance. We walked into the lobby. We went to the center, and I said my name to a man and began to wait for the nurse to call me. I'm going to use the bathroom, Mom said and left. I put my head on Kazuki's shoulder and closed my eyes. I then felt a hand on my thigh. I looked at him, and he looked at me. I'm scared, I told him, while having tears in my eyes. It's going to be fine, he said while giving me a hug. I hugged back and put my head in his neck. This is the worst 2 weeks I've ever had, I told him while letting him go. He chuckled. I know, but I think it's over, he told me while wiping off my tears. I chuckled. I hope so, I told him while holding his hand. I put my head back on his shoulder. Yun, I heard my name. I looked up and saw the nurse. I got up and watched the nurse. Katsuki followed. The nurse put us in the room. The doctor will be here in a moment, the nurse said and left. Katsuki sat in one of the chairs while I sat on the bed. I then looked at a poster in the room. It was a pregnancy poster where you could see the baby in the mother's womb. I then stared at my hands. Started to put my hand on my lower abdomen. I then got off the bed and walked to the poster. Katsuki noticed and looked at me, walking to the poster. He then got off the chair and walked to me. It's going to be painful, I told him. It is. He told me, then looked at me surprised. Are you going to keep it? He asked. If you're okay with it, I asked him. Sure, yeah. And I said that I would support you, he told me. I then smiled at him. We then heard a knock on the door. We looked at the door and the door opened. Yin, the doctor asked my name. Yes, I said, nodding. I'm Dr. Yume, she said while bringing in a machine in the room. I'm Yin, I said while going to the bed. And that is Katsuki, I told her while pointing at him. He was walking to the chair and sat in it. The father? She asked. Yes, she said, nodding. When did you find out that you were pregnant? She asked while putting on her gloves. About 2 weeks ago, I told her. She then began to think. I wonder that. I'm sorry. It's going to be a little weird for me. Could you lift up your shirt to your bar line and move down your pants a little? She asked. Yeah. I said while doing what she said. She then grabbed the gel. This is going to be cold, she said, putting on the gel to her hand and put her hand on my lower abdomen. I flinched back to the coldness. It's so cold, I giggled. She then turned on the machine and put the rod on my abdomen, where the gel was. Katsuki then moved close to me and looked at the screen. Then Dr. Umi moved the rod around my abdomen. She then stopped. See that circle right there? She asked. Yeah, I said. That's your baby, she told us. Then she told us what? I felt happy for some reason. And it looks like you're a month long, she told us while moving closer to the screen. Do you want pictures? She asked us. Sure, I told her. She then pushed a button and the screen started to flash. When it was done flashing, the pictures came out. Dr. Uma handed me the picture and paper towel so I could clean myself from the gel. After I cleaned myself, I pulled my pants up and pulled my shirt down. I then sat up. Can I see the pictures? Katsuki asked. Sure, I said and handed him the pictures. I went to schedule another appointment, Dr. Uma said while throwing out her gloves. All right, I said, nodding. In like a month, she said while going to the computer. All right, I spoke while getting out of the bed. Oh my God, where were they? Here, she said while handing me a packet. What is this? I asked her. It's a packet for do's and don'ts. She told me, but I'm in a month in, I told her. I know, she told me. Things can happen in a month of pregnancy, she told me. Oh, I said while looking at the packet. I want you to have a great rest of your day and don't stress. She told me, smiling. All right, I said, smiling. Me and Katsuki left the room and walked back to the lobby. I looked at Katsuki. He was looking at the pictures. He wasn't stopping looking at those photos, I told myself, giggling. When we entered the lobby, we saw Mom, and she was on her phone. We walked up to her, and she looked at us. How'd it go? She asked us. She asked while putting her phone away. It went well, I told her, smiling. It turns out I'm a month in and we took pictures. I told her. Where's the pictures? She asked. Katsuki has them. He hasn't stopped looking at them, I told her. She looked at Katsuki, who was still looking at the photos. She smiled, got up, and went to my ear. He's going to be a great father, she told me. But if you are going to keep it, she told me, while getting away from me. That's the thing, I told her. She looked at me. I'm going to keep it. She then smiled, and I began to worry. Yin, I support you, and if you want to keep it, that's all right. She told me and gave me a hug. I giggled and hugged her back. But are you sure? I don't want to bother you, I asked her. Yes, Yin, I'm okay with it, she told me. I smiled, then we let go of each other and looked at Katsuki. Katsuki, I called his name. Huh? He asked while looking at the pictures. Mom wants to see the pictures, I told him. Oh, he said while looking at the pictures and then handing them to Mom. She looked at the pictures. She smiled and sighed. I wonder what. You all right, Mom? I asked her. She nodded. Yeah, let's leave, she told us. Oh, okay, I said as we began to leave. Time skip. Me and Katsuki were at my house, in my room, on my bed. Katsuki was on his phone while I looked at the ceiling. Katsuki, I called his name. He asked, still on his phone. I think Mom doesn't like this, I told him. She doesn't like what? He asked. Me being pregnant, I told him while getting up. What makes you think that? He asked while putting his phone down. When she looked at the picture, she looked disappointed, I told him. And I think she wants me to get an abortion, I told him. Yin, it's your choice. You can do whatever you want with it. He told me, yeah, but I need to live with her. I told him, yes, but you can live with a hag, he told me. Yeah, but I want to know that she doesn't like me being pregnant, I told him while getting up. I then left my room and walked to my parents' room. Once I got to the door, I knocked. After I knocked, Mom opened the door. Hi, Ann, do you need something? She asked. Do you want me to have an abortion? I flat out asked her. What? What makes you think that? She asked me. Just answer the question, please, I told her. No, I want you to choose, she told me. Can you please tell me what makes you think that? She asked. I calmed myself. You looked at the pictures. You looked mad, I told her. She sighed. It's just that you're a teenager and you're pregnant, and I need to get used to it, she told me.